Hello, and welcome to Wave Talks About, the series where I'm just going to be talking about a mod as I play it. Today we're going to be playing Baryonic Predicament, which is by Miigga, as you can tell from the title. This is a really fantastic little map pack. It is put alone as a standalone mod, but it doesn't have a lot of new mechanics to it per se. There's a lot of new puzzle styles that haven't really been seen in Half-Life before. And it's a really fun little kind of set piece. It's very abstract. It's kind of hard to describe. There is no plot line. There's a lot of puzzles, but there's a lot of very good game design. So let's get going and let's talk about what we see. That's a nice little preview of one of the later areas there, as you can see. Quick little sip of coffee. Yeah, we start off in this very abstract space here. Middle of nowhere. We've had the little boat to say, hey, this is how you got here. It's quite nice, but there's not a lot else to kind of like guide the player. None of the buildings over here you visit. This area here, completely shut off from the mainland. It feels real. It feels like it's, you know, well designed as a location, the outdoor areas here. But as you'll find as we go later on in, things get a bit weirder. So there's these absolutely stunning bits of architecture. I mean, this is very much like kind of what real modern architecture looks like in a kind of harbour area, and I think this is fantastically designed. Really beautiful bit of scenery there. And as we head in, we get things a little bit more abstract, like a random gate blocking everything. But as you can see, there's a very cool kind of roof to this. I won't talk too much about the visuals, because like I say, they're very good. They're very rich. But they are kind of random, as you'll see later on. But it starts off kind of normal. Our first little puzzle here, nicely indicated that we need to put something in here. I mean, I know how to solve this one. I do know that when I first did it, it was a little harder than I imagined, knowing what to do. But yeah, it's a fun little physics-based puzzle. Always nice to have something to get the player engaged to open the door. That's not just push a button, because obviously pushing a button's great. It's an easy way out, but if there's another way of doing it, like something like this, it works really well in this particular case. Again, doesn't feel very realistic, but, you know, it's fun. So yeah, very rich details, a lot of props everywhere. A lot of props and a lot of interesting lighting. Very moody. The fog has a very kind of a low threshold and a kind of a low density as well, probably like kind of a decimal density. And I think that's a really nice kind of way of just adding a lot of atmosphere to your map very easily. CSGO does this a lot. A lot of players hated it in CSGO for obvious reasons, but it does work really well here. So nice bit of gameplay here showing the window to see where we're going to be opening the gate. It's always good. You want the player to know exactly where you're going to go. Oh, that was weird. There's a step up, isn't it? Yeah. Always physics of sprinting. A lot of people love to put player clips on stairs. I'm not a big fan of player clips on stairs in Half-Life 2 because it causes the player to fly. In fact, let's go and check at the clip. There's the stairs over here. We can do it with the console, but you know, I hate opening the console and playing mod. Yeah, they're not. And you can tell they're not clipped because the player would literally just launch themselves off if they were clipped. Yes, jumping is technically faster than walking. So here we go. Got another puzzle here. A random contraption. There's nowhere else to go. There is a little bit of supplies over here. We'll take those. Just some suit battery. What else is it going to be at this point? With only 2 weapons. And there's not a lot else to see. I haven't been everywhere, I've got to say. When I last played it, I was a little bit speedy with it. We got a grenade. That's nice. Interesting lighting there. Obviously the lighting has been originated from the top part there, not from the light environment there. So we've got a puzzle here. We can't get into these crates, but I imagine Big Hammer thing can. We'll move that forward. Like, again, why is this here? I don't know, but it's kind of fun. And of course we go into this building, which is again very different atmosphere. It's a really nice design and really well realised. You can kind of barely tell it's sort of a, you know, well, actually you can. It's brush based, yeah, you can tell it's brush based. But you know, this visual's really nice. The wall cracking, that's done really well. Bit of displacement work around the edges to sort of smooth it off. Good stuff. Can I get our first little bit of combat? Yep. The joyous thing of being able to kill those things very quickly. We have a hidden room in here where you can get yourself a SMG. What's nice here is the pacing. The weapons are a bit randomly given to the player, and there's a lot happening at once, but the combat pacing is well ramped up here. We've had no combat really. Actually, yeah, literally no combat, but now, of course, as we progress through, there'll be a little bit more that we can do. We can't get through here. Combine field, but we can see a cable, the classic way of leading the player to a button or a function. It's not a perfect solution, having a cable, but it is a solution that often works really well. And I've got a bit more combat. Don't know if we've got any physics objects in here we can use. No, a lot of props, but none of them physics-based, unless this radiator is. Nope. So we'll just... Yeah, zombies are nice and easy to take on. They're a nice, easy kind of threat to have. Along with head crabs. It's kind of a way of lightly guiding the player into combat. Get 2 hits in, step back. Oh, there's 2 of them. Oh. So we have got a few physics props here. Too late to use those though, unless there's another one. Come on, be another zombie. Nice little kind of different moody atmosphere. Varying atmosphere in a level is quite a good way of doing things. You want to have like a consistent feel, a consistent palette, the art style, but having varied atmosphere for each location is always a good idea as well. So we've now got this lever here. You can kind of probably guess what this window is going to be used for in a second. Or not. Power down. I thought that was going to open to show... There we go. That was my game designer instinct going, oh yeah, that'll be a great way to show the player. Open that window up and show the field's down. But let's just hope the field's down. It should be. We know it is. Surely, yes it is. That's a window there. Oh, I see. No, it's not. Ah, it's just decoration. Okay. Well, fooled me. Melons. Yeah, if you ever play a Miigga map, there'll be melons randomly everywhere. Even where melons don't belong, melons are kind of a common theme. Bit of lighting needed there. We're going to have a gunship fight in a minute. Most likely. Got a button there. What's this going to do? That cable goes to there. So this is the way we're going to be heading in. So again, we're communicating to the player using the button, not the button, the cables, as a kind of a point of reference to show the player exactly where we need to go. It works well in this particular case. Quite obvious where you need to go, so that's quite a useful one. Well, I probably shouldn't have opened those, but maybe save those for later. We've got another area. Looks like we're going to have to open this door too. So a classic theme, just getting the player to make use of each space you lead them into, maximising each space's use. Got to say, I absolutely love the lighting in these rooms here. This slight orange over here and the blue in the distance. Such a nice, low kind of a pace there. We've got a force field there, the button we need to be pressing. There's a generator with a barrel. It's got a green light on it. And it's connected to the cables over to that force field over there. So that's not that door. I don't think anyway. Is that the force field? That is the force field, there we go. So yeah, classic kind of game design. Having that element there. Let's pull the lever here. Now I'll open the door over here. And then we go to the next section. This is quite nice. We've got a television screen to show us what's going to happen next. Again, in the context of this particular map, doesn't really make logical sense. But it is gameplay design 101. I mean, I think, you know, from a game design standpoint, the map is absolutely perfect. It is very abstract. It's definitely a game space and not a realistic location. Nice. So we get a good bit of combat after that. And a nice view that we can see that the bridge is now raised over here that we're going to be using to head around to this area. So yeah, really clever use of the environment, making sure the player really knows what's going on. In a way, you know, whilst it is very random, the visuals do look quite nice. Makes no sense, like you got a radiator in what's probably some kind of engineering or worker pit. And then different doors open this time, and there's a rocket launcher here. Thanks. Bet that's going to be useful, yep. Oh, that was well done. Duck and weave, boys, duck and weave. Nice. Oh. Got a few combines to help us. It's a bit more of a challenge too. There's the combine gone. Nice how the music fades out almost immediately. That's a good bit of timing there. Quite a challenging fight really for the first part of the mod. I think that's probably the only thing about the pacing I'd say is a bit wacky. Is that you've got a gunship fight straight away after getting the rocket launcher, and then there's immediately combine with the gunship. But as you'll find with this mod, I believe that is the only gunship we have to fight. So, and it's probably the only space actually, as you'll see in a minute, that a gunship would work anyway. I would say the other gameplay spaces have been really good. They've been designed really well to accommodate the combat for soldiers, especially that one in the warehouse where there's lots of places where you could hide, where they could hide. There is space here for them to hide. If you wanted to get down here, you have a little kind of a figure of eight kind of loop. You've got the pillars you can use to block their line of sight, but there's not a lot back here. It's just kind of an empty space. So I think that could be more, well, better, you know, be more interesting. It could be a better design to it, but it still works as a combat. You know, you don't want to have every combat thing be a big arena, a big encounter. You want kind of every other combat space to sort of just feel kind of normal. Head back through here. Yeah. So there's definitely space I can use to cover here. So that's nice. Nice bit of space you can use for cover. Get a few headshots in at the same time. Oh, and there's more supplies. Really thoughtful. Any more to find or see or do? No. Nothing? I feel like it's probably going to be one last final little encounter. Yeah. Again, there's a lot of range here. Before you've even got anything to deal with range. Get stuck on the gates.
Ammunition depleted.
Yes, as you can see, like the challenge of fighting at ranges, you're going to use up a lot of SMG bullets. Could have probably used the pistol better there, as the pistol's got a lot more range and more accuracy to it. There's a zombie. He's late to the party, man. What are you doing? So that fight, again, could have probably been more interesting with a bit more cover here, potentially. Having a few more things that you could hide behind, or potentially just giving you a weapon earlier that allows you to fight at range a bit better. That's another option as well. These soldiers are probably not the biggest threat because they're using the regular SMG1, but if they were using, let's say, an AR2, that fight would have been a lot tougher. Especially if you didn't have an AR2 yourself at that point. Just checking for any more final goodies before we head along the bridge. Doesn't look like it. Always a lot of things hidden in a map by Miigga. There's a lot more of his maps I'd like to cover in the future. He's done a fantastic little portfolio of stuff, so I do recommend checking him out on Run, Think, Shoot, Live, looking for Miigga's maps, because they are fantastic. This is another puzzle section. As you can tell, we need to head over here to activate the lift. The lift has been conveniently cabled up to show us what to do. And I believe this is... I don't know if it's the only time this is used. There's a lot of laser stuff in this map. But I think this is the only time this particular puzzle is used. Place that in. That blocks it off, and apparently that powers it now. I don't know. There you go. Magic. Hi-fi magic. The lift has no sound. I did not notice that before. It's probably a funk move. A move linear, sorry. Move linears don't have a sound. You have to do a separate ambient generic to make them work. I think they are technically lighter on ent data than using a funk track train and a set of tracks, because you're only really using like sort of one or two entities to build it up. So I guess that kind of makes sense to use a funk move linear for this one, if it is that. Okay, here's another laser puzzle. This is a little bit different this time. This one is a bit of a funky one. Remember, you've got to match them up with these boxes here. There's a few things blocking a few of the paths. It's not very well immediately telegraphed what to do. I remember being stuck on this puzzle when I first played the map and not having a clue what to do for ages. But looking at it, I don't know what the middle one does. Okay, it moves, and then this is probably stopped then. I need to kind of look up and figure out when I need to stop. There we go. Perfect. So they've each got to go to their corresponding one. That looks like it's going to block this one. That hole. Yeah. So, does this move? Wood. Don't want to waste that on it. I feel like there's a technical error with this one where you could theoretically fail to be able to solve this puzzle because you've run out of ammo. As I don't think the gravity gun will be able to reach that. So I guess if Miigga ever goes back and updates this map, sticking like a pistol box here, set of pistol ammo might be a bad shout. Yes, that's another one. Nice physics puzzles here. I think the physics puzzles are kind of Miigga's strong point. As you can tell kind of from the runtime and the map so far, you know, the levels are well utilised. You know, we're not wasting space in the levels. A lot of maps like to go very big, bombastic, use up all the end data, and then there's no space to do much else. Oh, come on. Nice. Well, that was cool. I wonder if I can see that actually... No. Too late. It's been activated. I didn't see what it looked like when it activated, but I imagine it was quite cool. Maybe it disappeared. It does look very cool. That's a very nice design. I mean, it's all brush-based, I think. It looks like it's all brush-based, especially seeing as how short the levels are. This one. Oh, and there we go. There's the AR2. I do like this text. This feels very Silent Hill texture. Taking up in the space. You know, what's going on here? Very random. But they're combining here, so let's fight them. There we go. Immediately cuts out. It doesn't fade out. I think the music should definitely fade out on that one. It's a very good space to have combat, as you can tell. And I think there's a lot you can kind of learn from just making a fun-looking space. You walk into here and you think, fight. You walk into here and you think this is going to be a good combat space. But there is the slight issue of having the Combine all come down this choke point. You could definitely jump down here and you have a much more interesting arena playing with the water that you can walk through. You can actually come up there, that's a shame. But yeah, you could come down here and have a lot more options as the player. But yeah, they do kind of fall through there into the tunnel with you, which is probably the easiest way to take them out whilst reducing damage. Aha! Another little red piece. Guessing that's to open this door. Oh no, we need another piece, don't we? I remember that, yeah. That's in here. So again, there's a little light where it is, which is a good bit of design if you're going to have a puzzle like this one, where you have to force the player to build a thing. Yeah, it's a bit like a Lego Star Wars now, isn't it? Yeah, we just constructed this lever to open the door. Again, random, but it works for this particular section. This is really nicely done. Gosh, that's beautiful. Really well done. Nice bit of a design of the concrete there. That looks really good. And yeah, the classic. Let's fill in the gap with a random bit of metal. Why not? It works well. I'll have a look what's up here. Is there any kind of secret up there? No, it's just basically the black texture. And even that fade to black you can use that makes it look like it's progressively getting darker. That's really quite nice, actually. Yeah, the visuals here are really good. For a space that makes no sense, this does feel like something you would see in an industrial facility. It is just really well done, with a lot of texture variety, but that doesn't look out of place with each other. So yeah, kudos to you, Miigga. Good art design. So we get a nice view of the arena we've just been in, and I have a feeling, if I remember this map correctly, there is another fight coming up in a second, or it might be the other one. Yep, there it is. Thank you, prop. Yeah, not gonna lie, that did actually make me jump a little bit. This is nice though. That's a really cool effect there. That's really well done. Yeah, it's a strange place to have a hunter fight. That would have been great to fight down there, but obviously, yeah, up here as an introduction. Still pretty scary. It's not bad having hunter fights that are weird like that, but having fights that kind of don't totally make sense with everything in terms of like where you'd put it, but it does work well. As you can see, all the spaces used. We have the catwalk up here you get to play on, the walkway along here you get to play on. Everything is utilised, maybe other than the offside room over here that leads to nowhere. Every space is utilised in some way or another. And I think that's the best way to use any gameplay space you design, is to make sure everything is used and the player can go everywhere with it. Either as part of just like forced progression to move the story or the game forward, or as sort of secondary side objectives. You want to make sure everything has a purpose in your map, and I think Miigga does that perfectly here. Right. This is that seesaw puzzle, isn't it? So, again, classic physics puzzle. Again, kind of makes no sense. I don't know what I'm going to need in this. This is not going to do anything, is it? It's going to have 0 weight in there. Can I go under there now? I can. Maybe it's just that thing I needed. And then... we need to head over there. That's it. Yeah, through the vent. How well telegraphed is that? You come around here. I guess you're going to find it. There's no other way to go, is there? Yeah, this works well, the puzzle. I like this. Big old hunking thing. Let me go through here. Missing texture. I don't think I've seen that one. Is that a door? It's probably a door, isn't it? But yeah, this is... The prop grades are great, but yeah, they should break with the gravity gun. I always think that makes them much better. Oh yes, this bit. This is fantastic. I believe this is used. It's used at least once in this map. in this mod, or the map pack, I should say. But this is a fun mechanic. I absolutely adore this mechanic. You set the barrel in, it closes the door, teleports in. Classic Half-Life. Place something in one key and it still teleport to the right place. You're nice. There's a little curves on there. It's really well done. Beautiful. Stunning and brave. Boom. Absolutely satisfying. And here we go to another fight. And it's another well-designed arena. Weird music choice for a fight, though. This particular arena, you'll find it's used a lot of times in the map. I believe it's used twice. Some Half-Life arenas is a lot, but it's a nice arena to use and to reuse. So we've got our first wave, which is just some combine. We've got plenty of space we can use to split them up ourselves, and they've got plenty of options to try and flank me. It gives the player the ability to think when they're running and shooting, and I think that's the joy of this particular mod. The combat works really well. You don't feel like you're kind of trapped, just kind of walking in circles, just shooting things in a single room with barely any cover. You've got options to move around. There are very physical barriers to stop you from being hit. The enemies make good use of it, and you can make good use of it. And that makes the combat more engaging. I really enjoyed that fight. It's puzzle time. Russian. We've got some kind of conveyor belt. Maybe not conveyor belt, maybe just a thing. That laser beam, it is! Can I not move there? Can. That's breakable, probably. Yes, there we go. Very nice. I need to close this somehow. This is going to kill me. Did I walk over that? I did. And maybe this... Maybe to stop it killing me, they've added a little player clip to it. Push the button here, that's going to move that in. Oh, lovely, there we go. And then we're into the next area. And so now we had a puzzle. Tiny bit of combat. Man hacks this time. Yeah, man hacks could have been utilised quite well in that other fight, to be fair, just to mix things up a little bit. Now this puzzle, I believe, you have to stack a box on there. Stack a box next to it. I've got to say, I really quite like these props here. Looking at them, they look like they're custom. Custom props. Are they made in proper? Maybe. They do look quite cool. Oh, come on, get on. Oh no! Physics props, an absolute joy to jump on. Now we're up here. We're heading through here now. Gosh, the lighting in these vents is really nice. I think this is the general light texture. It's an odd thing to have in an event, but it does make the vents look really good. Whatever the lighting level is for those textures, it works really well here. Right, yes, this is my favourite bit of the mod, this particular puzzle. I like how they've done the little fake box for the infinite ammo. For those who don't know, there is a really cool property about the crossbow. You can shoot it and it'll bounce off walls, and you can use it to hit enemies that are behind things. It's never really utilised very well in Half-Life. But here we get to use it as a puzzle. Can't really see where it's going. There we go. So yeah, we can't get through here. It's toxic. We've got to bounce it off there to hit that to blow up the generator. I think it's just cool. I don't think anyone's really used that before or since, really. And it's a fun mechanic, bouncing a rebar. Here's what looks like a bathroom. And aha, there we are reusing the laser puzzle. We've probably got to head down here. Nice set of supplies still. We place something in here and something in there, and they're probably going to be this little kind of glass mirror type thing we're going to need to have. Oh, there's one behind a box. There we go. Put that in there, and there's the other one, nicely hidden. Looks like that's just... It is a reflective texture, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, nice. And we can head down here. Oh, it's a glass door. We're going to be back in the arena. But best of all, we have the crossbow now, so that'll be fun. Oh. And we've got hunters, which are not quite the best crossbow enemies, but still fun to fight either way. Ooh. Right, let's get dropping out. Should put quick weapon switching on, I love that. Much better for fights than having to scroll through the wheel. I can press the numpad button to get the nice, sorted. Now where are we heading to? This is bricked off now. That's interesting. Ooh, we've still got fights. We might still have fight. Maybe I killed them all. I think I did. Oh, we're over here. Flashing lights tell you the way. That's a good idea. That's quite nice. Brilliant, yeah. So well used. We used the arena twice, which was really nice. And there was 2 waves that time, which was quite good. Although the second wave didn't get a chance to get anything into the room to make the combat more interesting. So you could have probably had it from 2 directions, and that would have made the fight a little bit more interesting. Right, let's go on to the next map. And I'm probably going to split this video into 2 now to make them a bit more watchable and give myself a bit of a break from talking and playing at the same time, which is surprisingly not as easy as I think it is. And then we'll come back and we'll have a look and we'll talk about the next map as we play it too. But as you can see, even from this little corridor here, just like the art of this is just gorgeous. I mean, there is no story to this map. There is nothing that's kind of here to make any sense, but just the texture choices, the orange walls, the orange lights, the cool blues back in there, you know, everything is really, really, really well designed. So despite us a space it not making any sense at all, it is a lot of fun. So we're back to this in a bit. Thanks for joining me for this video. Hopefully it's been useful, interesting or entertaining. If it has been, drop a like, drop a comment, and I'll see you all next time.